Most entrepreneurs get this wrong, and it's costing them literal millions. If I had to start over today, if I had no money, no contacts, no clients, no network, no authority, the one thing I would do before anything else, if I wanted to build a business and be an entrepreneur, is I would join a mastermind. Now, before you think I'm encouraging you to go spend $40,000 on a high-end mastermind, that's not what I'm saying at all. There are a plethora of free communities in every industry, every market, literally every business category you can think of. You can join a community right now today. This might be a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group, but I would encourage you to do something that's in person. And the reason for this is multifold. First, you've heard the cliches, proximity is power. So when you put yourself in a room with other people, you're putting yourself within the proximity of whatever power they wield, in as much as you're able to build those networks. When you join one of these communities, the thing that you need to do, the script you need to run, is to give, be of value, be an active participant. So anybody who, if you've ever gone to Vistage or one of those networking groups and you've sat through just that horrible soul-sucking process of folks desperately coming and shoving business cards in your hand and trying to figure out who you are and how you can help them, that's not what we're talking about here. You want to join a mastermind that, number one, has something to do categorically with what it is that you want to accomplish. It's either in the industry that you're trying to break into, relevant to the services you're trying to offer, or in the geography that you want to participate in, right? Those are the three levels of niching. If you haven't seen my video on niching, go watch that. Once you've joined a mastermind that is relevant to one of those three categories, figure out how it is you provide value. And by the way, this tends to be relatively easy. If you sit there long enough, you're going to hear consistent questions. People are going to have consistent questions as to how they accomplish insert issue here. I have built multiple businesses using this strategy. I had the highest performing real estate investment campaign on the planet. I can prove that with data. We were generating motivated seller leads for real estate investors. Here's what we did. We joined Investor Fuse's mastermind. Investor Fuse was a SaaS product for real estate investors. We joined their mastermind and we just helped people that were generating leads understand how to improve on their lead generation. So, how they get to the phone faster if they're not able to answer it personally, what call systems to use, what CRM to use, what attribution tools to use. And these weren't difficult questions for us to answer because we knew what we were doing. They were difficult questions for the real estate investors though. So we instantly became the belle of the ball, so much so that Investor Fuse stopped charging me to come, started asking me to show up to all their events, and asked me to speak. I've done this over and over and over and over again. When I wanted to learn digital marketing, I joined Digital Marketers Mastermind. And within Digital Marketers Mastermind, I just started giving value. And my value, by the way, was just my learning. I would just share in their Facebook group, hey, here's what I figured out. Here's what I learned. Here's a change. Google just made a change to its organic ranking algorithm that everybody needs to know about. Or, here's a landing page that's working really well for us right now. Or here's a hook that increased my open rates. Things that were small and simple. Incidentally, I wasn't an expert. I was still learning. I was still on the journey. So you can lead without being the authority. You just need to lead by being one or two steps ahead of other people. So join a community, make sure the community is relevant to something that you want to do, and then give. And I'm telling you, there's something about it that's magic. Within 12 months, you're going to find yourself in a position of leadership in that community. And hopefully, ideally, in a perfect world, you ascend out. And here's what I mean by that. I always want to be in the bottom 10% of any community that I'm in. Across every level of analysis, I want to be the poorest, dumbest, least successful, least adept, least connected person in that community. I want to be in the bottom 10%. And then I want to work very, 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 very hard to lift myself out of that. And I've done that over and over and over again. I join small communities and then I build myself up to a position to where I'm at the top of that community, which, by the way, it's the worst place to be for growth. It's the best place to be for contribution. So there are communities that I stayed in way longer than I should have because I wanted to contribute to that community. But if you're at the top of your community right now, if you're the big fish in the little pond, get out. Don't do that to yourself. It's so tempting to stay there because you feel important, right? You're like Jabba the Hutt sitting back just surrounded by all your cronies and everybody's dancing around you and everybody loves what you say and everybody laughs at your jokes and you're not growing. You need to put yourself in a position to grow. And it's just like a fish in a fish tank. There's someone, I took my kiddos to buy a fish tank at the pet store and then the person selling us the tanks was telling us about how there's so many breeds of fish that will not grow past a certain size depending on the tank that you get. If you're in a teeny tiny tank, you can't grow. So if you feel like you're at the top of your community or you're approaching the top of your community, level up. And the way that you level up, by the way, is you pay. You spend money. There are amazing masterminds available and accessible. I own a mastermind called Driven. You have to have 7 figures in revenue in order to join. It's $35,000 a year. You don't have to join my mastermind. It's very, very specific as to who it's for. We're bloodthirsty killers when it comes to going after money. It's about obsessive growth and wealth generation. That really turns a lot of people off. If you want something that's more heartfelt, it's more community centric, that's more about contribution, go join Joe Polish's Genius Network, which is amazing, by the way. If I wasn't in Driven, I'd probably join Joe. Or Giovanni Marcinko's Archangel Network, or Justin Donald's Lifestyle Investor Mastermind. There's thousands of these communities available and accessible to you. And you should be spending just enough money to feel it a little, but it shouldn't be a gamble. So if $35,000 to join the Driven Mastermind, if you spend that money and you think like, gosh, I better make this back or I'm in trouble, don't do it. Don't do it. Go ratchet yourself down. Steve Sims has a great mastermind, The Distillery. It's phenomenal. Perry Belcher, my business partner in Driven, has a downstream mastermind called Ignite. Ignite's, I think, $5,000 a year or something. So enter an ecosystem where you feel stretched. You're spending a little bit more than you're comfortable spending, but not so much that it's going to bankrupt you if you don't ROI right away. Because incidentally, the ROI is going to be in a direction that you don't necessarily realize. I didn't know when I joined Digital Marketers Community, I ended up being a Digital Marketer Elite coach. I ended up speaking at Traffic and Conversion, which is the largest marketing conference in North America. I ended up creating the paid traffic certification for Digital Marketer. I had no idea any of that stuff was going to happen. I thought I was going to get referrals. I just wanted other agencies to send work to me and white label my service. But it ended up, the success came from an entirely different direction. If you've seen me on Perpetual Traffic, it was one of the top marketing podcasts in the world. It ranked in the top 0.5% of all podcasts worldwide. I got the Perpetual Traffic gig because I was introduced by somebody at Digital Marketer. The person at Digital Marketer knew me because I came into the community and I gave. So join a community, give more, give first, give last, give in excess, love on people, help them, and then you're going to see what's going to happen to you. It's amazing. It's astounding. I'm asking you to try it right now today. I think you're going to find that not only does it work, but it's going to work faster than you'd expect.